So we are going to get into our first topic of discussion tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Superman is getting his own TV show. Hallelujah, hallelujah, or maybe. We'll talk. According to an article on Variety.com, the potential series would follow the world's famous superhero and comic books' most famous journalists as they deal with all the stress, pressures, and complexities that come with being working parents in today's society. So for those of you who do not follow the CW superhero shows, also known by fans as the Arrowverse, because its first show that started it off was Arrow, a.k.a. the Green Arrow, at the beginning of season 2 of the Supergirl television series, they finally introduced the Man of Steel, Superman, a.k.a. Clark Kent, played by actor Tyler Hoechlin. And I've said before on the show many times, I actually really enjoy Tyler Hoechlin. I think he performs the character very well. I will also give him and to give Henry Cavill some slack, because I know some people will like to bring up, they like to compare Supermans. Henry Cavill had the disadvantage of they didn't write his Superman as Superman in the DCU films. If there's any DCU lovers out there,
write him as?
they wrote him as if they took Superman and then they mixed in some Dr. Manhattan. Because,
because he has a weird god complex and a blue penis?
Yes, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a deleted scene from Batman v Superman.
It's that one time where Superman flies out to save the day, but he doesn't have pants on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that... Yeah.
Oh,
what a dark movie in so many ways.
Yes, yeah. Because here's the thing about Zack Snyder. I always say we're not going to get into this shit.
Zack Snyder. You can't talk about it without breaking out.
Zack Snyder is like a Watchmen fanboy. And here's the thing. Watchmen is one of the most famous graphic novels ever made by Alan Moore. And credit to it, it's made its mark on, literature and the comic book industry. And that's fine. If you love Watchmen, that's great.
I love Watchmen.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the movie. It has problems, but overall, I like it.
Anybody watching the series that just came out on HBO?
I don't have HBO, so I can't watch it.
I meant to give you my password. So
I gotta get some people.
She's such a good girl. She's going to give me her HBO.
Yeah.
It's that's even higher than giving someone your Netflix. That's amazing.
That is a big deal. That is a big deal. That's a big step in a friendship.
But here's the problem. Zack Snyder is the kind of fanboy where he thinks everything should be Watchmen or The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Returns, another famous graphic novel that involved Batman.
Which is not canon.
Yeah.
It's not the canon version.
And once again, if you like the stories, hey, it's The Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen. I'm not going to fucking debate anybody on loving that material, but it's just like he tried to apply that to these new movies, and people are like, that's not how the characters normally act. Like, you can pull off the dark shit with Batman because he's the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And there's other DC characters you can try that with, who dip into the somewhat darker stuff. But you can't do that with Superman, and you can't do that with the Flash, even though they made the Flash a funny character in Justice League, despite the fact that he didn't really fit in that world.
Or really do anything. He was everybody was so underutilized. Anyway,
we should probably get back. See, this is what happens.
I like Tyler Hoechlin.
Hoechlin.
Yeah, Tyler Hoechlin.
Yeah, so I really don't know your actual views on it. So what are they?
One of the things I like about him is that he's got a real chin.
Yes. He's got that Superman chin.
And it's like I'm looking at this photo of him, and it's just like, wow, I can't believe they make jawlines in nature that. Like that's just a real jawline.
Are we sure that's it?
No, that's
not cosmetically altered.
No,
because I think
anyway.
We've seen what happens when you try to
formulate
a chin.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty good chin implants. That looks like it could be a good one.
Wait, there are chin implants? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, I've actually had a
consultation
for one.
Oh, what?
I wanted one really bad to cover up this little turkey neck thing. It's something you do if you have an ugly neck. You get a chin implant to kind of hide it.
What?
But I wasn't a good candidate for it. This guy, that's a chin implant. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I feel
it's still like a real chin. Like no one tried to CGI it.
Yeah, it looks natural.
No one computer generated a chin for him. But I will say that aside from the animated series, who I think that was George Newbern and Tim Daly were the two people.
Yeah,
him.
Definitely Tim Daly. I always forget the other guy.
Yeah, this guy is the most Superman that's out there.
Yeah.
He's kind of goofy and lighthearted, and he's no, I can pretty much decimate anybody on this planet, but I can't because I am Superman and I have to keep myself in check, and everybody is made out of sawdust
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
So
Heckler's done a great job. I've had aired my misgivings on how they've used Superman sometimes in the Arrowverse on Supergirl, because sometimes it looks like they use Superman to raise up Supergirl at times.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that because I like Melissa Benoist, who plays Supergirl. I like the way she's performed a character. She was a little iffy in season 1, but I think she's really owned a character in the past.
she's gotten into it.
Yeah, so I hate to say that against her because she doesn't need it. The fan base behind but the fan base behind Supergirl is large, and a lot of it has a lot to do with Melissa Benoist. People have fallen in love with this actress. They love her as Supergirl, and I don't understand the reason why you would need Superman to hoist. She's doing great.
She's doing a great job.
Yeah, they just started her 5th season of Supergirl. She just got a new suit, a new shiny super suit. So yeah.
Made out of the bleeding edge armor that Tony Stark created, apparently.
Oh yeah, they definitely stole that. Because they kind of set that up last season because he had that one like kryptonite-proof suit that just kind of gelled over her.
Yeah.
So like they kind of set it up, but it's like the reason why she got a new suit because she got some holes in her cape this season, and they just couldn't make her a new fucking cape.
Which is like,
Spoilers.
wait a minute,
Yeah.
the cape is not what helps you fly. Like you're Supergirl.
Yeah, you can just do that.
Some of the stuff that they do in the Supergirl show is bizarre, and I feel like the way they kind of. Because there was a point in season 2 of Supergirl where they were using him a bunch. And it was like...
he was
in
the first
cool.
couple episodes at season 2 to finally introduce him because they got the go-ahead from Warner Brothers because,
and he was great.
Yeah.
He was so much fun.
Yeah.
And, like, I really like the way that they brought him in. And every time he pops on screen, like, I'm like, this guy is awesome. You know, like, he really plays Clark Kent really well. Like, he plays Superman really well. He kind of reminds me of like a better version of Dean Cain, although I might have a little bit of like nostalgia because that's like the big Superman show that I watched when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, Adventures of Lois and Clark. I watched it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but this seems, I'm glad he's getting a show, and I hope they do. I do hope they do Superboy in this.
Maybe I don't know. I will. Another thing I want to add before we get further on to that is I also want to give credit to Bitsy Tulloch, who plays Lois. Lois Lane was introduced last year during the crossover event Elseworlds, and this is the first time we got to see the Lois Lane of the Arrowverse, and she fit the role well
kicked
too.
ass,
Yeah,
too.
she was
Yeah.
like, oh, I was like she wasn't in that many scenes. It was like, yeah, no, you got it. You're Lois Lane. I'll fucking buy it. I'll buy that ticket.
She nailed it.
Yeah, and her and Tyler Hoechlin apparently have had. I thought they had really good chemistry in the few scenes they had together. So I'm really excited. Now, as according to the article said, that the show is going to be about them being parents because as was also established in the Elseworlds crossover, Lois is pregnant, and they went off-world while she was pregnant because if they're away from Earth's sun, then the baby won't have super strength and accidentally kick through Lois' stomach.
Which is what a fucking horrifying thing.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's
Now, one of the things that pissed me off about that when they said, okay, we're going to go off planet, like, okay, you guys are going to be gone for 9 months. This will be a decent excuse why Superman doesn't keep popping up in Supergirl and helping her out because it's her show. Got to maintain the focus. But that same crossover event, they said, even after the kid's born, we might just be away for a few years. And I'm just like, what? Okay, this seems like an unnecessary excuse. And he said in the crossover event, the reason why they're going to stay away is because as long as the world has Supergirl, it doesn't need Superman. Which, well, that pissed off a lot of fans that they would say. Now, here's the thing. I could accept that if it wasn't for the fact in the past 3 seasons they had to stop 3 separate alien invasions of Earth. So I'm sorry.
Seem excessive.
Yeah. All hands on deck, motherfucker. Until
you might need a couple more super people.
Yeah, until we get let's go a couple seasons before Superman can maybe like hang up the cape. I don't know. But like once again, that's one thing where it seems like they're using Superman to hoist up Supergirl when you don't. Her show's doing very well as is. There's a large fan base behind it. I know a lot of people don't like the show. I think the show. I've been kind of
fine.
It's fine, and as I said, it's
fine.
Yeah, yeah. And once again, I hate to say that because I like Melissa Benoist's Supergirl, and I like a lot of the other cast members. It's just like the show's always kind of been kind of meh with me.
Yeah, the Brainiac 5 character is really fun. Wen's really fun, but like some of the writing and some of the way that they do like social issues is so ham-fisted and so heavy-handed. where you're like, we get it. You guys are all super fucking liberal. Like, we get it.
Christian just gets right into it. He just gets right into it.
It's just like, Jesus, my God, like, how much, like, the last season, it was just like, this is, like, they might as well have just been like, this is an allegory for the immigration problem. Look at the cages we have for the aliens. You guys get it?
Get it?
Cages
Yeah.
for aliens?
Which,
Because they're illegal alien. You guys get it? It's like, oh my God, yes. Can we move the plot forward? It's been 48 minutes. Like,
yeah, and here's the thing. Like, I don't mind TV shows, especially science fiction, because I think science fiction is a great way to do...
A political agenda?
not a political agenda,
political
but...
statement.
I've seen it a lot in a lot of sci-fi. Like,
Yeah,
did
yeah,
You guys
it-
watch the Twilight, Jordan Peele's Twilight? came out
I
this
no, I
season?
haven't. But
No.
I'll say this: I grew
Very
up
good.
watching Star Trek. Star Trek, a lot of episodes
Yeah.
of Star Trek were morality tales where they tackled social issues. I still remember the episode from Star Trek Next Generation where it was the gay episode.
Yes.
Yeah, but it wasn't the whole season. Wasn't the gay season? Like they it wasn't. And it was a cool episode.
It was a great episode.
They go to this planet where they find this species that's trying to like. This new species that's like working with the Federation, but the species has totally eliminated gender. They think gender is an obsolete thing. Everybody's completely gender neutral. People don't even have sex to have babies. People are just grown in machines. You can take a DNA sample and they grow you in a machine. But on the planet, there are some people who are coming out as one gender or the other, and it's an allegory for people coming out of the closet, and that was handled well. And that's the thing. So I don't mind social issues like this, even political ones, to be brought up in shows, because I think science fiction is a great way to reframe things and help put it in a different perspective. But as Chris said, they hand-fist a lot of things in Supergirl, and that turns me off. Like last season was very hand-fisted.
Yeah.
And once again,
Yeah.
I hate to say that because love superheroes, love Melissa Benoist. The cast is, got a lot of good cast in there. Chyler Leigh, who plays Alex, Supergirl's sister, she's had a lot of interesting character arcs over her course, including her, coincidentally coming out as gay and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So
And I felt like they did that aspect of it, like they did like pretty well.
yeah,
Right? Like her whole coming out thing, I was like, oh, this is like really well done, and it's not overplayed. Like we're not just like jamming. It's like did you get it? Because she's a lesbian. Did you guys? Are we all aware of how lesbian she is? It's just like it's just part of her character, and we like proceed with the arc, and then all the relationship struggles that she has are just like human, like relationship, like what you're supposed to treat people like. But it was just like that was my biggest complaint with it is Arrow did a whole episode, and they've always kind of had the debate of like, guns.
yeah, oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
a bunch of the superheroes are just shooting up places all the time, and it's like
Because on Arrow, they frame it as they're not superheroes; they're vigilantes.
Right.
Vigilantes.
so. But like they did a really well,
Vigilantes with guns.
like articulated and well nuanced way to deal with the gun debate. But yeah, I just wish the writers would be like, you can do social issues, but you just don't have to keep jamming it down our throats.
Yeah, a little too
Like
much.
we're gonna get it.
The
you know?
Supergirl gun episode wasn't that good. It was, and that's not me taking a side or saying what my viewpoint is. I'm just saying they did not even really examine all the avenues. From the very start of the episode, it's not even really questioned. It's just guns are bad. Get rid of them. And if you have that viewpoint, I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about. I want well written. If the show comes
There's
to
also aliens that
Yes.
exist in this world.
Yeah, I mean,
that
I could
have
go over
lasers.
I could go over all the problems with the episode because it's
A
just
bad alien.
Depends on what this alien wants from me.
He wants to rape you.
Well, then I'm gonna, out of self-defense.
I'm
Out of self-defense.
gonna put my egg in your chest.
Oh man. Oh, it's
Oh,
one
no,
of
he's
those
got a
kind of
gun.
aliens.
Yeah.
Oh man. Ugh.
Oh
Gross.
yeah.
Probio.
But anyway, so I'm excited about this upcoming Superman show. At least I hope it is, because like I said, the Arrowverse has had its ups and downs with most of its shows. Arrow's in its last season. So far, the current season, Arrow's doing very well. Last couple seasons weren't that great. Flash, same problem last couple seasons, but the current season of Flash so far is going really well. I'm having a good time watching it. So I'm hoping they don't they put their all into this and make it great because it could be interesting. Because, like I said, the plot is them being parents and also being working and being superhero stuff, which was supposed to be the next season of the Adventures of Lois and Clark, the Dean Cain Superman show.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, because the show ends with them getting a baby on their doorstep, and and Dean Cain has said in interviews the next season was supposed to be about them being parents.
Wait, that's how the show ends? I didn't realize that's how the show ends.
Yeah. That's how, because they were I think they were expecting to get one more season at least, but they got canceled. So.
Wow.
This is kind of like, now I'm sure it wasn't like, I don't know whether that was the inspiration for it or that's how they were thinking, because a lot of fans have been calling for Tyler Hoechlin to get his own Superman show for a long time now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it was something they were mulling over for a long time, and they were just like, well, if we're going to do what are we going to do with it? Because in the comics, that's going on in the comics right now, Superman and Lois being parents, with the newest version of Superboy, Jonathan Kent. Yeah,
Yep.
Even though there's still another Superboy out there, he's just like the Superboy 2 or whatever. But,
yeah, there's Connor Kent Superboy, and then there's Superboy Prime, who's just kind of like a murderous psychopath.
Oh god, we could go a whole episode on Superboy Prime.
We don't need to go into Crisis on Infinite Earths, the comic book version.
Yeah, because we got the TV Crisis on Infinite Earths coming up. But anyway, I'm excited, a little cautious, but overall I'm just happy that Tyler Hoechlin and once again, Bitsy Tulloch are going to get their own show. Because once again, I like Tyler Hoechlin. I like Bitsy. I think that I'm really excited to see where the show is going to go. And don't fuck it up. Just don't fuck it. Mm-hmm. There's my caution. Yeah.
Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed that clip. We live stream every Thursday night on our Twitch channel. And of course, check us out on the River's Edge Online Radio Network.